everyone, and welcome to Splash Bros with me, Cbreezy, and
Lampies 07.
okay. So today we're going to talk a little about Gainnis Antetokounmpo and possibly talking about his future. So we're gonna talk about three main things. I think it's gonna be if Giannis will stay at the Bucks, what should the Bucks do? What should he do? Possible teams that could trade for him, how that would work out, and the option of leaving in free agency. So those are the three things we're going to talk about. So let's get into it. First of all, let's start with Giannis. Okay, obviously, for me, I mean, Giannis is this season's MVP, and obviously won Defensive Player of the Year. And now the season didn't go as planned. They wanted the title, they didn't get it. So, what's the steps forward? If you would say, staying at the Bucks, what should the Bucks do? What should Giannis do? Is it an option?
I think Gainnis is loyal, or it seems to be. But there are rumors like
there will always be rumors.
Rumors that he don't follow his teammates or something like that. Don't know if it's true.
Yeah, they say it is, but I mean,
we don't know. You can't be for certain. Let's just say so. But yeah, as Cbreezy said, they actually did worse than last season.
Yeah,
with a better record.
They have a higher win percentage.
Yeah, in the regular season. But they went to the conference finals.
Yeah, went to the conference finals, went 2-0 up in the conference finals.
Now they went 4-1 down on the Heat. And we both thought they will go to the conference final.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Bucks, my big question is what will the Bucks do to keep Giannis? Because if Giannis stays, he's going to need motivation or something that the team is going to do, like getting assets that can assist him in the future. Otherwise, I will leave because of his reputation. He is the best player in the league, so he needs to get the wins,
for his legacy.
The rings, finals MVP, and all that stuff. That's what I think. I don't know what the Bucks can do. Maybe they can trade maybe Chris Middleton and Brook Lopez. I don't know. Like get a ball distributor. Bledsoe is a bit old. I don't think he's the right fit for Giannis because Giannis needs somebody to give him the ball, and that Giannis can go into the paint.
Yeah, I would say the biggest problem at this stage for the Bucks and for Giannis is playmaking. Players who can create shots, players who can open shots, and obviously also perimeter shooting. I think the main thing is, I mean, you mentioned trades, but the problem is Middleton. He recently signed a max contract. Brook Lopez is still on contract for I think 4 years. Bledsoe is still on contract for 4 years. So I mean, those are difficult assets to trade, especially if you take into consideration all of those players are just before 30 or already over 30 years old. So they're gonna have to put a lot of draft capital into acquiring good players. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, Middleton is a good player, but he's always going to be a second option. Okay, Brook Lopez is a good player, but he's too old. Bledsoe, for me, good defender, doesn't give you a lot offensively. So, I mean, out of those three, who would you keep to stay with Giannis? Obviously, a lot of people say Middleton, but is Middleton a good fit? That's
a problem.
He brings a lot of three-point shooting, but it doesn't necessarily mean he's a good fit next to Giannis because he can't create the shot. He doesn't play make for Giannis. He basically just takes, he's basically a spot-up shooter.
Yes, but he's not always hot, as you can say. He's not, he gets like hot and then he doesn't actually show. He doesn't, like we watch a game and Chris Middleton got like, 50 points in 2 quarters or something like that. But it didn't seem that he was, playing. I don't know why.
He shows flashes of greatness, but it's not consistent enough.
It's not consistent. I don't know. I think they need a point guard.
Definitely. Do you think Chris Paul is the option or no?
We talked about it, and I think so. Just Chris Paul has a massive contract, so they're going to have to make space.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. And the problem is, like you said, till 2024, Chris Middleton has a contract at the Bucks.
A
And
max
that's a max
contract.
contract. So I don't know which team is going to take Chris Middleton or Brook Lopez. Maybe they trade them together to get, I don't know, Chris Paul and Bledsoe. I don't know.
Yeah, at the end of the day, Chris Paul is also still a big question mark because of his contract and his age and his injury history. So I mean that's a big question. I think Chris Paul is like a last, effort. I mean Chris Paul and Giannis would play perfectly together because he likes his mid-range shot. He's a good playmaker and he's also a good perimeter defender.
Lob City.
Lob City. And Giannis is basically like a better Blake Griffin in hindsight. He's like a combination between the Andre Jordan and Blake Griffin.
Yeah.
So I mean they would play phenomenally together. But at the end of the day, I don't think that is the way to go. No. So, I mean, realistically, do you think Gainnis will stay another season? And if he stays, who is a perfect fit for Gainnis? Unrealistic.
Okay, unrealistic.
Unrealistic.
Okay, if he stays.
Yeah, if he stays.
I saw these predictions. They're talking about Victor Oladipo.
The Bucks. Okay, yeah.
So,
good perimeter defender, free and D guy.
Can pass the ball.
And can create his own shot as well.
So, and he is good. I like Victor. He may have injuries this season, but next season will be fine, hopefully. So, I would say somebody quite young and somebody that is not selfish needs to pass the ball to Gainnis. Not that Gainnis is selfish, but Gainnis needs to get the ball. And I'm going to go into Gainnis. He mustn't take so much free pointers. Attempted. Because I think that's why they lost.
Especially that's why they lost. I think it was game 3 or something. Where Gainnis took 7 3-pointers and he sank 0.
He doesn't pull up. He tries to pull up, but he can't do it. If he's open, he hits it. Yes, but I think he just needs to go mid-range and paint, and he needs somebody to give him that ball. So Chris Paul would be ideal, but the problem is I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know. Maybe they're going to give Bledsoe, Brook Lopez, and Christiaan Burger.
Yeah, we're gonna have
and then Chris Paul comes because that's going to make space for him.
I think contract-wise, Bledsoe and Lopez, but I think it would maybe because I think Bledsoe is on 17 and Lopez is on 13 and Chris Paul's on like 38. So I think they could manage. For me, I think the way to go forward for the Bucks, because of the age of their team, because of the amount of draft they don't have high picks. I would say surround Gainnis with shooters, get a bunch of 3-point shooters, and get a playmaking point guard, someone like Derrick Rose maybe, be a good option, or even trade up or draft for LaMelo Ball. I know it's still early, but LaMelo Ball is a great passer. He's shown he's a good passing player, so you can find Gainnis in space, and he also creates his own shot. That would mean it takes off responsibilities from Gainnis to drive forward, which means Gainnis can just post up in the paint. So I'd say just surround Gainnis with a bunch of shooters as much as you can get, and I think that is the way forward. It's going to be difficult. It's going to cost a lot of assets, but at the end of the day, it's now or never for the Bucks.
Yeah, otherwise they're going to lose him, definitely.
Yeah. And if they lose them, possible trades, what do you think? Any teams that
so Gainnis,
who would
let's see he doesn't go to free agency. So it's going to be a trade because the logical thing for the Bucks to do is to trade him to get assets. Otherwise it's going to be like
Kevin Durant.
You know, it's just you lose everything.
Or like Kemba with the Hornets.
Yeah, same thing. So it's quite so. If I was the Bucks and there was a large chance that Gainnis would leave, I would trade him. So in the predictions that I saw, they were talking about going to the Heat.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Big one. So massive a freeway contract between Golden State Warriors, Heat, and the Bucks. And I don't know exactly the players, but it's going to be Chris Middleton and Giannis. Middleton goes to Golden State,
which makes 100%
sense. Yeah, I think they will just
perfect fit.
And then Giannis goes to the Heat with Jimmy Butler there, And huge, like, what's his name, Euro.
Yeah, Tyler Hero, probably
A
go.
lot of players.
Jay Crowder,
Yeah.
possibly Iggy, Olenek. I think the main thing in that trade for the Heat would be to keep free players, and I think that would be to keep Tyler Hero, to keep Jimmy Butler, and to keep Bam Adebayo. I think Duncan Robinson.
Bam was also one of the
Yeah.
guys going to the Bucks.
Yeah, if Bam, if it's a straight swap for Giannis and Bam, fair enough. But the nice thing about Bam is you can play him on power forward and you can play him on center, and he's also a very good defender. So just think of the matchup. If you are a player, you have to play them. They've got Jimmy Butler, Giannis, and Bam. It's going to be hard to score on them because they are all fast players who can actually switch, who are not just good paint defenders but also perimeter defenders.
Yeah.
So I think that is the only realistic trade. I think that's the only team. Because the Golden State have a lot of draft assets as well as the Heat. I don't think there's any other team who can actually, maybe the Celtics, but I don't think the Celtics would go in because of their core.
The thing is, if Giannis got to Golden State or something like that, it wouldn't help with winning another MVP because he will be with Klay Thompson and Stephen.
Yeah, and they'd probably keep Draymond as well.
Yeah, so
depending if they send either Draymond or Wiggins, but I mean,
that's
just scap for this.
Yeah, other topics maybe.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's the same with the Rockets now. You have Russell and you have Harden. They splitting the points. It's going to be like that. Whereas Giannis absolutely dominates now the Bucks. Because yes, the team plays well with him, but the thing is, he's actually main player.
He could possibly hurt the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, because
of his lack of 3-point shooting.
Yeah, that's what that.
But at the end of the day, we're probably just going to play him with center.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, it could actually work perfectly because then they can just do what the Rockets did with Russell Westbrook, surround everyone with shooters, so the paint's always open. So everyone just drives out, and Giannis could just penetrate. I mean, Giannis is a good passer. I mean, he's a very underrated passer.
The thing is, he pulls like 3 guys, 2 guys.
And he can just kick it out to either Curry or Clay, and they're going to see everything.
Definitely.
So. I mean, it could work. It could work.
Yeah, it's just...
But would he go? That's the big thing.
Thing. Like, he's... I don't know.
I don't think Giannis cares so much about the public, but look what happened to Kevin Durant when he went to the Golden State Warriors. The same thing could happen to Giannis, where that could actually hurt his legacy. Yeah. And I know this is a mixed thing. A lot of people say Golden State helped Kevin Durant's legacy. Others would say it hurt his legacy. And I think for Giannis, he wants to be the best. He can be the best. I mean, he's already in a lot of people's top 30 ever, and he's not technically even in his real prime. So,
I don't think he will go to free agency. I just don't think it's just... Maybe he does, and then it shocks everybody, because that's going to be a frenzy.
Yeah.
I don't know what everybody would like him, like really.
Yeah.
If he can go, and I don't know.
If he goes to free agency, sign and trade, or just straight up, what do you think you would sign with? I mean,
yes,
I think really the only team that has the cap space would possibly be the Heat if they can get a lot of expiring contracts off the book. And also I would say the Chicago Bulls. And I think the Hawks also has a good payroll, but they got a lot of extensions coming up. So I think with cap space, if you're talking just cap space, the only teams that could really get him, I would say the Heat, the Bulls, and the Hawks. And I don't think the Hawks is realistic. So you can cancel them out. The Bulls is always an option. But I don't think you would go to the Bulls because Giannis would like to compete. The Lakers maybe if Anthony Davis doesn't re-sign, or they shift a few things around, it's difficult. It's not a lot of teams. Obviously the Knicks would trade everything they have to get Giannis. They would open up a lot of cap space to get Giannis, but Giannis wants to win titles.
That's the thing. It's not a snake move. He's going to win a title. If he goes to the Heat, I think that...
If the Heat wins this season and he goes to the Heat, then I would say he's a snake. But if the Heat doesn't get past the Celtics now...
And he goes,
I wouldn't say he's a snake. I would just say I understand the move. Because a lot of people forget if he goes away in free agency, it's more of a snake move because then he leaves the Bucks with nothing. Where as they trade him, they at least get something back in return, something to work on, maybe picks, maybe players.
Playoff team.
Yeah, it could help them rebuild.
Yeah, definitely. The thing is, if Gainnis stays this season that is coming, I think they don't win a championship, it will be his last season.
Unless the Bucks really go full
out. Get the, I don't know. If they get Victor Oladipo, I don't know.
If they could get, they should have never let Brogdon walk, number one. And number two, they shouldn't have signed Middleton to such a big contract, not at that age. And they shouldn't have signed Brook Lopez to such a long contract, not at that age. Now, I mean, those are things that are already done. Now you have to work around them. So, I mean, at the end of the day, realistically, if I was Gainnis Antetokounmpo, I would say grind next season out. Just eat free agency. Maybe look for a sign and trade, and that's about it. The same as what Kevin Durant did. Sign and trade to Brooklyn, and the Golden State Warriors at least got D'Angelo Russell in return. Maybe the same thing. And where should you go? I don't think Gainnis should stay in the East. I think Gainnis should go explore his options in the West. I think that is where the real talent at this stage is, and I don't think there's a lot of West teams who could maybe get him. But I don't know. It's difficult to say. If I really had to pick one team where Gainnis could fit perfectly, I would say it's the Dallas Mavericks. But I don't think that's going to happen. But that would be a perfect fit for Gainnis because he's got playmaking, he's got 3-point shooting, and he would fit just perfectly in. You just slot him at power forward or small forward and Porzingis to center. And you make Porzingis a stretch 4, which is fine. It's one of those things, and Luka can just make for Gainnis the whole day long, and you've got other shooters around you. I think that is the ideal setup for Gainnis. Lots of shooting, lots of playmaking, and he can just roam free, do whatever he wants to do. And the responsibility is also often because there's other players like Luka and Porzingis as well, so he doesn't have to feel like he has to do everything.
If something happens to him, or he sprains his ankle or something like that, the team can still go on and win games without him. So but it's actually exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting to see. I mean,
after the playoffs, who knows where Gainnis is going to go?
Where do you think Gainnis should go? Perfect fit for Gainnis. What do you think?
I don't know.
He said the state. I don't think it's a Golden State because of the age.
I think he should go to the Heat just because it is the most realistic, and I think like he and Jimmy Butler would play quite well together, and
they play fantastic together.
And if they have not a super team, I won't say super team, but they have a really strong team.
Yeah, they have like a 2 and both are all stars, Jimmy Butler,
and Bam.
All Star, and Bam. So I mean, it would be a big 3. But last question: do you think if Gainnis goes to the Heat, that he would be compared to LeBron, and that could hurt his legacy? Because some would say he walks into LeBron's footstep because LeBron also created the big 3 in Miami. Or do you think that's irrelevant?
I don't know. I didn't think about that. I don't know. So I think it will maybe hurt his legacy. You know how the media is.
Yeah.
So
he would get compared to LeBron James.
I don't think he wants to get.
And if he underperforms and not win as much as LeBron did at the Heat, that could also hurt his legacy going forward because NBA basketball, it creates rivals, it creates narratives that isn't necessarily there, and this could maybe be something that hurts him, and also the same as going to Golden State Warriors when he would be compared to Kevin Durant.
Should go to the Pistons.
Should go to the Thunder. Go to the Thunder, play with Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and Steven Adams.
Yeah, but we just won it because it's our teams. But I think in the video, let us know in the comments what do you think where Gainnis should go or what he will do. It will be interesting to hear about what you guys think.
Okay.
And thanks for viewing. Remember to like and subscribe.
And previous videos, link in the description.
And remember,
as always,
hit that jumper. Away.